Hi guys, how are we today? It's great to meet up with you guys. Great to catch up with you guys today on today's series. I'm happy to have every one of us in this series, in the study series, which is a study network. In our network study series, this is our part 04. We're going to be talking about designing and implementing express routes. Hi, can you guys hear me? Just want to ensure that my you guys can hear me. I want to ensure everything is working from my end. Just a minute. Please, you can give me a thumbs up if you are hearing me. If I don't have any issue from my end, just want to ensure I'm good. You guys can hear me as well. Also, please kindly indicate if you guys can actually hear me. Um, Okay, thank you. I've been able to confirm that you guys can hear me. So once again, I just want to say thank you for joining today's class. My name is Catherine John, your favorite host, and I'm also the Azure community lead currently. I'm happy to have every one of you joining for today's class. Today's class, we're going to deep dive into Azure ExpressRoute. We're going to learn all about Azure ExpressRoute. So fasten your seatbelt and join me as we explore Azure ExpressRoute. Kindly let me know if you guys can actually see my slide. I'm about to share my slide. Okay, let's see. 1 minute, guys. Sorry, let me. Okay, so, oh, all right. Okay, I guess you guys can see my slide now. So, like I said before, we are going to deep dive into a topic on how we can implement and Azure Express Route. So we're going to learn a little bit about Azure Express Routes. The last on Saturday, we are able to learn about how we were able to design and implement about hybrid networking in Azure. So today's topic is we are implementing Azure Express Routes. I believe you guys can see my screen as well. So our learning objective for tonight will be designing and implement Azure Express Route. We're going to implement Azure Express Route and talk about Azure Global Reach. We're also going to talk about Azure Fast Path and also try to troubleshoot some issues. So these are the little things we're going to do tonight. So just in case you want to okay, what is Azure Express Route? So Azure Express Route is a dedicated connection. It's just a private connection. Instead of you trying to oh, you want to go through the public, you just have a dedicated connection that you'll be able to connect through Azure, connect your services, get Azure services. You're connecting to Azure services via private connection, not you're not using a public connection, and it doesn't travel over the public internet. So it's just like you trying to like it's connected from Azure. So you get like a cable. We have like a third party, a vendor that is going to help you. We call them provider. So they're going to help you to configure your Azure circuits, ExpressRoute circuits, so that you'll be able to get connection from Azure to your data center. So we have three ways in terms of when it comes to Azure Express routes, right? We have like three ways. You have three connectivity ways of connecting to Azure Express route. It could be any. It could be point to point Ethernet network, or a virtual connection through a connectivity provider or your or co-location facility. So this is the diagram for our Azure Express routes. From here, from the diagram, you could see customers network. This is your network. This is your data center. Then this is partners edge. The partners, the provider that is going to help you out to configure the Azure Express circuits. Then we have Express. Yeah, this is your Express route circuit. First of all, you have your you have your network. Your network, then you have your partner. So we have different partners. We have different partners when it comes to vendors that will enable you to connect to Azure. We are going to look at one of the partner. I think one of their name is Equisit. We are going to use Equisit for this. When it comes to demo, we are going to use Equisit. We have Cisco. We have a whole lot of different partners. So this is your express route circuit. We have primary connection and secondary connection. This is your Microsoft Edge. These are your services you have on Azure that you can connect to. If you're looking at the red line say Microsoft peering for Office 365. So any of your services in Azure. So it's going to be Azure or Microsoft. That's sorry. 365. Just a minute. I think I can hear some sound from my end, please. Okay, sorry. I'm back. I guess you guys can still hear me. Please, can I have like a thumbs up if you can still hear me? So basically, with your express route, you'll be able to extend your on-premise network into your Azure, into Microsoft over a private connection. It's called a dedicated private connection. And this is going to happen. This is going to be possible with the help of a uh, Microsoft partner that will help you to configure this connection. So what we're going to do a demo, but with the demo, we're not going to implement it fully. We're going to do every part we need to do on Azure. Then we'll leave the rest, the part where the partner comes in to implement, to configure the to configure their cables and everything for you. The part we need to do on Azure, we will do it. But unfortunately, since we don't have like any partner we are working with, we're just going to stop at we'll finish up the part we need to do. A part where, like, let's say, for example, a company needs to do. There's a part where a company needs to do, and there's a part where the provider needs to kind of do their own part. That's what we're going to do. So for the blue line, we have Azure private peering for our virtual. network. So this is Azure private peering, and the red line is your services on Azure. We have services like Office 365, we have Exchange, we have the Exchange covers Office 365. We have Dynamic, we have virtual machines, and all that, your services on Azure. Before we go further, I would kind of want us to have some intro. I want us to like excuse me, just 1 minute. Let me see. Okay. I don't know what you guys can see. Please just give me a minute here. So I want us to have like a scenario before we start. We want to assume that we have an organization. Let's call us the organization we're going to be working with. We want to see ourselves as a network engineer working in any organization. Could someone suggest an organization we will be using the scenario on? Is there any? Let me see. Is there any? Okay, I was told to put my slide on presentation mode. Okay, what about now? You guys can see it very well, right? Okay, guys, I believe it's on presentation mode now. I've maximized my slide. So let me know. We would like to, for better understanding, we want to see ourselves as an engineer. And could someone, a networking engineer, could someone suggest a name of a company we want to use, or I should just go with anyone here? I would like you guys uh, to give me a name. I believe you guys can still hear me. I want a name that we can really be familiar with, not XYZ. Thank you. Okay, so I've not gotten any other name apart from XYZ. Thank you. So could we use like probably Jumia, because we're all familiar with Jumia. Let's say for example we are like an engineer in Jumia. Okay. I think someone say, "Yeah, me take it." So okay, let's say we are either I. Oh, thank you so much. So we will either be using Yemi Take It or Jumia. So let's for brother, for me not to mix up the name, let's just use Jumia. Thank you. I thank you for your input. So we'll be using like, we want to see ourselves as an engineer in want to see ourselves as an engineer in Jumia, and let's say our organization as Jumia uses Express. We want to like as an engineer in Jumia, and probably um we've been using services like Office 365, and we've been using services like site to site, and we still discovered our internet are not really fast. Companies are complaining, sorry, customers are complaining about our services. We, sometimes we might run like, Jumia, we might have videos, a lot of images we need to upload, like images of products we need to upload. Imagine customers coming to our website and they're unable to, like, if they are clicking on an image of product they wants to buy. Let's say for example now, during our we are looking towards, maybe your manager calls you like, oh, yeah, me, since you are the engineer in this company, you are a networking engineer in this company, and it calls Temitope, you are equally the cloud engineer in this company. I want you guys, and Jeff as well, maybe he calls the three of you guys and say, I want you guys to put head together. We are having a Black Friday, and we want this Black Friday to we want a reliable, fast, and steady network, because due to past experience, you put wouldn't want the manager wouldn't want to have any excuse that there's an issue in Black Friday. Maybe customers are trying to buy some product, and the product is not loading. Your manager calls the three of you and like, I just want a seamless Black Friday, no issue. If you need to scale up anything, you need to scale up your workload, you scale up. If it's internet issue, they just don't want to have they just don't want to have any excuse. They just want an easy going kind of Black Friday, seamless Black Friday. So what you as a network engineer would do is to ensure that, okay, since you guys have tried a VPN, you people have tried site to site and all that, you want to, like, okay, you don't want the instances that will make you want to suggest express route to your manager. Is that number one, you're like, you need a connection that you don't want any disruption. So you need a connection that is and private, fast, secured, and it's really secured, and it's private and it's very fast. So you're going to like suggest express route, or tell your manager, let's use express route, or you're banking on express route. This is going to will solve your network issue, or it will solve your network issue, any issue regarding your Black Friday. It's going to fix any connectivity issue and latency during your Black Friday. So if you suggest that to your manager, then you have to come up with trying to implement this service that you suggest to your manager. So for that you're suggesting that to your manager, the next thing you're going to do is to explore how Microsoft Azure ExpressRoute works. So for you to suggest how Microsoft ExpressRoute will work, you need to like understand the ExpressRoute. That when it comes to ExpressRoute, the main function of ExpressRoute is just to connect your private network via a dedicated connection. Your on premises workload through through a private dedicated connection. So you're going to connect via Azure, and this connection can be in three ways. Can be either any, and it can also be through uh point to site via internet, or co-location. So let's go to the next slide. I believe you guys can still see my slide. It's like my slide is not moving from my end. Sorry, 1 minute. My slide is not moving from my end. I could see. Okay. I don't know. Could you guys still see my slide? From my own end, it's not moving, but I don't know if it's moving if you guys can still see it. Sorry, guys. I don't know what the issue is. Let me check. Sorry for the break in transmission. I'm sorry, my this is still not moving. I may need to like unshare and reshare again. Let's see. Oh, I'm sorry, I may need to reshare again. Um, it's moving now. Okay, let me reshare again. I guess it should be working. How about now? Let me see. You guys can still see my slide, right? I believe it's moving now. Sorry, is it can you guys see it very well now? Okay, so if you add, let me maximize it. Okay. So since as a networking engineer and you're promising your manager that your Black Friday is going to go well without an issue, it's going to be seamless, and you're looking through the services you think would best resolve any connectivity issue. So you kind of like want to try ExpressRoute, and the reason why you like try ExpressRoute is because ExpressRoute is it has a faster speed, it's consistent, it has a consistent latency, and it's highly secured. There is no issue with anybody interrupting your network because it's straight from Microsoft to your own on premises. So you guys can see my slide. So when it comes to Express Route provide direct access between your on-premises network and Azure services. So the services you can have on Azure that you can connect with your Express route is IaaS, that's infrastructure, your infrastructure as a service, your IaaS, your virtual machine, your Azure Kubernetes when it comes to Azure Compute. In terms of compute, your virtual machine, your Azure Kubernetes. Then when it comes to cloud services, you kind of have like Azure files, you can share file, Azure storage, Azure SQL, you can your DBs, your database, then Office 365. You can manage Office 365, you can manage Microsoft Dynamic as well. So we need to know that Express routes, it kind of use layer 3 connectivity model, and it is hosted in Azure, in Microsoft Azure. Let's say, for example, your computer on your on-premises network can use an Azure Express route to contact your Azure virtual machine through your IP address. So we're going to like go through the next one. We have like an SLA that 99.99 SLA when it comes to connectivity on Azure Express Route. So we, in terms of your Express Route connectivity, we have connections, like ways of two ways if you want to connect to Azure ExpressRoute. It can be through partners and it can be through Azure dedicate direct model. So for your partners, if you're trying to use an Azure partner for if you're trying to use an Azure partner for your network for your express routes, we have these are the means you're going to go: cloud exchange co-location, we have point to point internet ethernet location, and we have any to any connection. So during the demo you're going to understand this. Then if you're not using any, as long as you're going to be using provider, these are the means your provider will be able to connect this for you. These are the means you're going to use: either co-location, exchange co-location, point to point, or any, or through direct Azure Direct. You can use Azure Direct to connect to your environment. So for the co-location, if you have like the co-location, if it's around you, your co-location provider can kind of um help you connect. If there is any Microsoft cloud around your co-location, if it's closer, your co-location provider will help you. And just bear in mind that it's two-layer connection. So in terms of point to point internet ethernet connection, so you can connect your on-premises data or your or office to the Microsoft cloud through point to point Ethernet link. And this is going to be layer 2 connection. So for the any, you can integrate it via one with Microsoft cloud. Then for the Express Cloud Direct, sorry, for the Express Cloud Direct is like you connecting directly to through Azure. So you're going to go through peering, and the peering is going to be 10 Gbps connectivity you're going to use, and it's going to support like active to active connectivity. So we're going to go understand further. As we go further, we're going to understand all of this. So if we are going to design an express route, there are some things that we need to put in mind in terms of our budget. Then we need to bear in mind that we need to bear in mind the money in terms of budget aspect. We need to budget for this thing because it's going to have some economic implication. Like, you're going to ensure you have enough money for this, and there are some prerequisites you will need to have. Like, you need a third party provider to help you configure this. You cannot just configure it yourself. You don't have the facility this third party provider have for you to be able to configure this yourself. To use it seamless, there must be a third party provider. Or even if you are going to, like, okay, you don't want the third party provider, you're going to connect through Microsoft Direct, there are a lot of implications there. You have to even register your subscription before you start. A whole lot of prerequisite. Like, there are a lot of stuffs you need to like kind of go through before you be able to connect to Microsoft Direct. So we're going to compare like direct or either direct and our service provider model. Maybe by us comparing it, you could choose the one that that best fits your organizational need. When in terms of use cases, where you will need to use a service provider is like maybe your business is kind of a small to medium sized business. You should consider a service provider. At least that will even save you money too as well. But if it's a large scale, like your business is global, you have a global presence, like almost, let's say, more than the 10 to 20 countries, definitely you be thinking of using Azure Direct, sorry, ExpressRoute Direct. So when it comes to connectivity, do you want it? What kind of connectivity do you want? Is it express route direct you want? And anything from express route direct, you should be thinking of 10 Gbps to 100. So if you should know in terms of connectivity, with the connectivity, you should be able to know the one you need to pick. If you are capable, if you have the money to be able to provision anything from 10 to 100 GPS, then you go for it. And when it comes to, if you don't have that amount, then definitely you can go with service provider infrastructure. Then we have circuit SQ. So we have SQ for this, which the SQ kind of range from 50. The least, I think the least is 50 Mbps to 100 Mbps. That's when it comes to your service provider. Then when it comes to express route direct, you have like 10 Gbps, ranging from 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, and the rest like that, down to 100. Optimization. So are you going to optimize this for a single tenant, or you're going to, if it's for a single tenant, your best bet is service provider. And if it is kind of more than that, you have multiple tenants, then definitely express route direct. So with this feature, you should be able to determine which one your company you should suggest to your company. If you know that your company have a presence of you are globally in more than you are global and you're in more than 10 20 countries, you should tell your manager, oh, I think going through express routes and its future, we should go through express route direct, or we should use service provider. So this is Express Route SQ. We have premium and we have standard. For the premium means if your company is global, like more than 10 20 on this thing, you definitely will need to use premium because okay, you are in different countries. But if it is not, let's say you're just in UK, or you're just in the US, but you have different location in the US, you can still manage either you use standard. Yeah, you can use standard. But if it's just you are just in one place, like you're not in different location. If it is UK, you are just in UK, you're using local. But if you are in more than one country, standard is your best bet. If you are above two countries or above 2, 3, 5 countries, you should definitely use premium. And bear in mind that the money are not the same. There varies. There varies. So we're going to look at why we should pick one of the skills. Is it why we should pick one of the SKU? should should you pick local SKU or standard SKU or premium? So if it's you are in if in a situation whereby in a scenario where you need low latency access to your resources in a particular region, when it comes to a particular region, let's say UK South or um or West Europe, you can just you since you know your workload is just in one region, you are not doing different regions, you can just stay with local to save money, because like I said, the money in these things that you're choosing, they are different. When it's standard, excuse me, standard would ensure that will allow you to use multiple Azure region, that multiple absorption within the same geographical area. So that is it. But if not, you can use premium. Premium will give you a broad opportunity where you can use different countries. You can just use different countries with your premium. So with this, you should know the best that suits your organizational need. And as a cloud engineer, and also, you guys are three in this company: a cloud engineer, a networking engineer, probably a DevOps, or that person. You should your One of your aim is always to look for a way of saving money for your company. So it will not make sense if you know that you are just based on one country and you are now going to speak standard. It doesn't make sense. You are not saving money for the company. You are causing the company to spend more. So we're going to walk into like a lab, like we'll do a work lab. And the scenario we're going to do is to create a virtual network for ExpressRoute. Let me go to the next slide first. I want to finish up the slide before we'll do a walkthrough lab. So when we create a virtual network, when we create a network gateway, we'll create a virtual network, then create a subnet, then create like a network gateway. So this network, the essence of this network gateway is the security, it's like a tunnel. So the gateway is just the security we have that communicates between uh, our on premises. This is your premises on premises from Azure, from your premises to Azure. This is just like a padlock. That's how it is. So for example, before you do that, you have like a virtual network. Let's say for example, a virtual network, you can liken a virtual network to be like a street in your to be like a street in your area. You have a street before you have a house. You definitely have a street in your area. So from that street you have in your area, uh, uh, you have your houses. Your houses you have will determine like the number, like number one, number two, number, right? So just like you have a street and there can be no houses without a street, right? Let's say, though you have like an empty land, right? But you cannot just walk into an empty land and start calling it this is the street, and you have number one, number two plots, this within the streets, when there is no, the land is vacant. So in Azure, you have a virtual network, and in that virtual network you have what is called subnet. You have to create a smaller network from this larger network you have. Just like you have a street, you have a big street with a lot of acres of land, and from that acres of land, which is your Azure virtual network, you want to kind of a bit portion it into a smaller portion, which is like you are portioning your houses. That street now, you're portioning it into houses, which is your subnet. You the street you have houses. The virtual network you have in Azure, instead of using the whole virtual network, you have to portion it into a smaller network, which is subnet. So let's say for example you have like a wardrobe. When you have a wardrobe, the wardrobe is just the container. It's just a container. You can liken your virtual network to your wardrobe. Then when you in your wardrobe you have different steps. There's how you the steps you have. It helps you to organize your stuffs in. There's a step for you to put your pants. There's a step for you to put your shirts. There's a pet is a set a step for you to put like your toiletries and all that. So those segments, these are, you can liken it to be your subnet. So the wardrobe is there, but it is segmented. Instead of you just having a wardrobe, just a plain wardrobe. When you open it, as or a plain wardrobe, you the a wardrobe is designed in a way that is segmented. They are portion the wardrobe step by step for you. There is step where you put your laundry, you put your pants. There's step you put your shirts. There is a step where you put your toiletries and all that. There's even a step where you can put other things there. So it has different compartments. So the same thing it is in when it comes to your virtual network. You have a subnet. Those steps, you can liken those steps to your subnet, right? Then When you have a wardrobe, that wardrobe is not just a wardrobe, right? If you leave it like that without protecting it, that wardrobe is going to just be like anybody can access it. To avoid anybody accessing it, you have a padlock. To avoid anybody accessing it, you now have a padlock. The padlock now, that is what I want you guys to understand. Understand this. The padlock now is now what is called our gateway. So our gateway subnet. So this is going to be the padlock. You can see the padlock in Azure. Your wardrobe is going to be there without, you need the protection. You need to protect it from anybody, probably from any members of your family, or you have wardrobe in your different rooms, and you wouldn't want, probably the wardrobe you have in the guest room, you put something vital there, and you don't want any guest to come to just enter your house and access the wardrobe. So you need like a padlock for that wardrobe. This is the same thing with Azure. Azure has a padlock that it's kind of used to encrypt and secure the network that is going through the through your organization, through Jumia data center now, and your through Jumia, sorry, on premises and Azure. So in this our in our demo, we're going to create a virtual network and create a gateway subnet, and we're going to these are the skills we're going to learn. We're learning how to create a virtual network, and we're learning how to create a gateway subnet. That's going to be for the first lab. We have two lab in this in our express routes teaching tonight. So after that, we're going to provision our Azure Express Route circuit. Is the circuit that um will now kind of give the key to our third party provider. If you're using third party provider, we'll give our third party provider to configure our express route to complete it for, like I said in this lab, we will not be able to in this class, we will not be able to like from the beginning to the end complete everything, but the whole thing you need to do as a network engineer or a cloud engineer, we are going to do that. The rest, that is a service provider that is meant to the third party service provider is going to just connect it. For we don't have cables, we don't have wires, we don't have the location that's we don't have the location that we can that is provisioned to connect to Azure. So all these things are going to be done by third party. The main thing you need to do as an engineer, as a cloud engineer or a network engineer, we are doing that. The rest assured we are going to do all of that in this thing. So what we are going to know that at the end of the day, you have the skills of provisioning a virtual network, you have a skill of provisioning a subnet gateway, you have a skill of provisioning an express route circuit and how to retrieve your key. And let's say maybe before the class we can delete it. That's the provision, the express route if we want. So when it comes to location, Microsoft peering location, the blue you are seeing, this blue area are where Microsoft data centers are situated. Then this orange is where your edge is. Then all this dot is where your where there's a presence of network. We'll dive in much later on this. So for that peering now, we have we have we have two types of peering, which is private peering and Microsoft peering. So in this Microsoft peering, the private peering, that's if you want to secure, like the scenarios in which you can use a private peering, that if you want to secure high performance connectivity to Azure resources, you can now use your private peering. And that private peering, you'll be able to use your, like what you provision is, you'll be able to use the private IP of your resources to connect privately to the private peering. So if you're looking for a scenario that okay, just want to connect to, let's say, M365, excuse me, you want to connect to of N365, what you have in N365, like maybe you want to connect to your SharePoint, your mail and the rest like that, you can decide to use Microsoft peering. You can equally use Microsoft peering for your SaaS workload, and you can use it for your PaaS workload. SaaS, software as a service, examples is your email. Then we have PaaS, we have platform as a service. Your PaaS could be your, let's say, your Azure. I'm trying to miss Google, sorry, Google to this thing now, AWS. I want to say Azure, yeah, Azure, your Azure function and the rest like that. You can use your web services and all that. You can use that. So the essence of PaaS, I don't know, we all know, we all understand what PaaS and SaaS is and all that. So this is just a diagram for express route peering. You have your customer. This is our Jumia. This is our internet edge. This is just our router. This this is our internet, our computer. This is our work. Our this thing. This is our firewall. The firewall that is guiding, protecting us. So this is our core internet, our core network that we have. You have your router, you have your internet, you have your, that's your workload now you have. You can have SharePoint, you can have Internet Explorer, you can have anything you have in your this is it. Then we have Express Route. This is the logo for your express route. So you have your express route here that is connecting your on-premises workload, your on-premises to Azure. This is your on-premises. This is what we have as in Jumia so far. Then this is Microsoft. This is what we have in Microsoft. We have our Office 365, we have Dynamic, we have anything regarding Office 365 or Azure. We can have our virtual machine. We can have we have our virtual machine, can have database or any other thing. So you can connect your workload in Azure to your private to your private peering or Microsoft peering. Remember, your private peering, you're using your IP to connect privately. And for Microsoft, you are going to use internet to connect. So that's why you have this internet like this. You're peering, this is workload, this is your workload in this thing in Microsoft. These are Microsoft resources you provision. You might provision in Microsoft, you are connecting it, and this is your workload. You can provision, you're provisioning from Microsoft to yourself. Like you're connecting, you're peering. Let me see. So it's still the same. Like if you want to choose between private peering or Microsoft peering, you can actually combine the both. Let me see. I guess it's here. Where is the You can see the feature that you can combine. When it comes to Microsoft peering, you can combine the both when it comes to peering. So the red signifies Microsoft peering, and which is for your workload. So the picture you have here is the same thing but more explanatory in this place. So for the red one, is Microsoft peering, which you have Office 365, your SQL, your database, you have Azure Public Services. This is it. This is your database. This is your your SQL, SharePoint, and the rest like that. Any workload on Azure or Office 365, you can connect with this. In terms of connection, we have primary connection and we have secondary connection. This is you, customers network. This is your network. This is where the partner comes in. You have your network, the partner help you to connect to Azure through Azure ExpressRoute circuit that we're going to provision. I either choose primary connection or secondary connection. And this is your Microsoft Edge that is connecting to you. So the blue is private, is Azure private peering for virtual network. So your workload, if you want to connect privately, is this. If you want to connect via Microsoft peering, this is it. So the essence is if you're connecting to Microsoft Office 365 and all that, you can use this Microsoft peering. But if you want to connect privately with an IP, you can just use like your maybe you have a virtual machine, you want to connect the IP or you want to connect to you want to pair it with your express route. All you need to do is just the IP address of the private IP of that virtual machine you use to connect to your Azure, to your this thing you use in connecting, you use in implementing the connection with your express route when you're on premises. So just in case you want to get clarity, okay, in what scenario do I need to pick private peering versus Microsoft peering? This is it. What's the purpose of your, or what's the purpose of private peering and what's the purpose of you choosing Microsoft peering? The purpose is that if you want to connect directly to you want to connect your resources, let's say your virtual network, you want to connect Azure Virtual Network, you can just go for a private peering. But if you want to connect to Microsoft services like Office 365 in a scenario where you don't need to get confused, so you should have clarity. When it comes to you want to connect to Office 365 or you want to connect to any past services you have on Azure, if you want to connect to maybe Dynamic 365, just know the best connection in terms of peering is Microsoft peering. Anything that belongs to Microsoft, anything related to Microsoft is Microsoft peering. Then let's say this when it comes to express route private peering, it's suitable for like your, let's say your virtual machine. You can use your virtual machine to connect your private IP of virtual machine to connect to Azure Virtual Network. Then try in terms of traffic type, you know that this is private. When it comes to private IP, just like the name implies, it's private. And when it comes to public, when it comes to Microsoft, you are using internet. You are using internet for that. You can see it here like this. This is the workload in Microsoft Office 365 and all of these things. You are connecting with internet. When it comes to your virtual machine, you know that you're using private peering. In terms of access, you have direct access to your virtual machine and services within virtual network. Within your virtual network, you're going to have direct access using your private IP. Then in terms of when it comes to Microsoft peering, you're going to have access to Microsoft services, your Office 365, your email, your Exchange and all that. So you are having access to that. So know that access is through Microsoft when it comes to Microsoft peering. Then in terms of private peering, you know that it's going to be through virtual network. Security, so you know that the traffic on your private network is highly secured. It is not exposed to the internet. Why in terms of Microsoft peering, the traffic is routed through public IP, but you know that it's going to go through a private connection. It's not, since you're on, the features of express routes always is usually a private connection. So it's not exposing you. It's not, you're not connecting via public connection. Even if you connect to Microsoft, you connect to Microsoft. like with through that internet, it is still routed to a private connection. You're not exposed to the internet like just like that. So in terms of use cases, where can you when are you to choose using private peering or Microsoft peering? So the best in terms of use cases, the best scenario for you to choose between private peering and Microsoft peering is that when you have a database, when it is database, you should know that and you want high performance connectivity. Anything database is through private peering. Then anything Office 365, Azure PaaS, know that is through Microsoft peering. So I don't want you to get confused. Just know Microsoft peering is for micro anything related to Microsoft Office 365, Azure PaaS services, and um, dynamic, dynamic 365. Then when it comes to database, your VM and all that, you can choose you it's best you go for private peering. So for the private peering, the essence of the private peering is that it's kind of separate you from public internet. And when it comes to your Microsoft peering, the Microsoft peering equally it kind of separates you from public internet because it's just going to route it. It's routing the public internet through a private this thing. So even though you have the presence of internet, you are still separated from you are still isolated from public internet. Like you still go it's still going to route you through a private connectivity, private IP also. Yeah. Then bandwidth. So for private peering, you should see they offer scalable bandwidth options, and for the bandwidth they both have a scalable bandwidth option. That's for the both of them. So just try to understand in a scenario where you need to use private peering and where you need to use Microsoft peering. Anything related to Microsoft 365, just go for this. Anything database and VM, go for private peering. And if you just want to use your private IP, just go for in terms of you know that definitely Office 365 does not have a private IP. So anything like VN or this thing, you can just use Express route private peering. So want to like kind of choose a peering location just in case like you're like okay because we have different locations we want to choose you can see this we can see locations we have locations looking at this we have data center we have edge we have network these are the presence of where you the red ones are the presence of where you will have like you'll be able to have use your express routes and the rest. So we need to look at the pairing location. So the pairing location is where you kind of have your device, your Microsoft devices where they are. That's the location you can see. Okay, oh, for example, let's say let's use like Airtel or MTN. For example, we have what we call MTN fiber. We discovered that it's few people that are able to use NTN fiber. But I think they started with probably from the island. Even from the island, I remember they started from Lekki because I remembered where I have NTN fiber, and my friend at Osaka was wanted to have NTN fiber but could not have it. So let's say if they don't have NTN fiber in that location, they did not provision it like the facility. If that facility is not there, the device for you to connect to NTN fiber is not there, you not be able to connect, you not be able to provision NTN fiber You won't be able to have NTN fiber. The same thing with Microsoft peering location. Before you can like okay you want to do express routes this thing, you need to ensure that your Microsoft Edge device is in that location so that you would for you won't like because if it's not in that location you won't be able to provision that. For example now, if there is no facility for fiber NTN fiber in that location, definitely you won't be able to like you won't be able to provision it, you won't be able to have it. Please kindly drop your questions in the chat box and we'll attend to it because we're taking a lot of time. Once we are done, you don't need to kind of wait until we are done. You can drop any question you have. So you for if you want to like when you are trying to pick a peering location, you want to look at proximity to your data center, to the data center. So we're looking at your geographical location. Is your data center close to, let's say for example, if you are in UK, it won't make sense. Maybe you're in UK South now. It won't make sense for you to go to France now to go and look for a location in France. It does not make sense for you to go and look for a location in France, a pairing location in France for you to provision. The distance is just too much. Except you are doing global, whereby you can connect to different locations. Like you have different location, pairing locations, you provision different location. Maybe you just like how you have like you are using global premium now. Premium give you that access of connecting to more than two, three locations. So if you're using local now, you should know that in UK South, you have to look for the pairing location that is close to you in UK South that you'll be able to use. So this will help you minimize latency and improve your application performance. Then you talk about Azure region connectivity. So we have pairing location and we equally have like Azure region, Azure region as well. So you need to consider this. The region you are, do you have like a pairing location in that region? So because express route is not in all Azure, is not in all Azure region. So when you are provisioning, you need to look forward to the region that we have express routes. I don't know. What can you guys just see here? Okay. Let's see. We'll try to share that. Let's see. You're asking if you can have like a slide to to the lecture. Yeah. Just a minute, please. So let me see this. I want us to go to, so express route is not available in all Azure regions. I just want to go to a region to check a region where some of those regions that I will drop it in the chat for you guys to see. So these are the regions supported by, hey, let me not go and end this stuff. You can see for yourself. Let me see. You guys can still see my what can you guys still see? Let me check. So just in case you are still seeing my slide, let me see. Just 1 minute, guys. I just want to see that you guys are seeing my slide. So if you can still see my slide, I don't know why I'm trying to share the location, the geo the location for your geopolitical region for your Azure, the location where you can provision. You have Azure ExpressRoute location. We have Atlanta. We have in North America, which comprises of Atlanta, Miami. Please just take a look at the link I shared. And we have in South America. So we have in South America, we have in when it's in terms of North America, we have East US, West US, Central 3, Central US and all that. Just take a look at that for me not to waste our time. So if you want to do co-location exchange, we still have a provider that can help you. Uh, Equinix Cloud Exchange, you can with co-location exchange, you can use Equinix Cloud Exchange. So we have providers that can give you exchange. We have exchange provider. I wish I could share this slide. Sorry, I wish you guys are seeing my this thing. I don't know why it's just only this thing that is showing. Okay, let's go. Since it's just this one. So if you look at that link, you're going to see the partners we have that will help you to configure express routes and the locations those partners are, their presence in the locations. Maybe you might be closer to any of those locations, then maybe you might be closer to any of those locations. So once you're trying to choose a peering location, there are things you need to put in mind, which is your proximity to the data center. Do you have a data center for peering location, or Azure region? Is any of Azure region kind of close to you? Remember, don't make a mistake. Peering location is different from Azure region where you have your workload. So it's not all region you can find express routes. So you have to bear that in mind. So and equally you kind of what you're going to in terms of your peering location, if you want to choose your peering location, you need to check the proximity to your data center, your Azure region connectivity, and like your Azure region connectivity. What region are you? Is the region your connectivity, is it local, is it standard, or is it premium? Then your network service provider availability. So those third party now, are they in the environment where you are, or in the environment where you want to in the region where you would like to provision your express routes. Then you need to talk about bandwidth requirements. So for your bandwidth requirement, you want to ensure that the location will support your capacity as well. And also with cost consideration. So anything you are doing in the cloud, you're not just going to be just a cloud engineer or a cloud you're not just going to be a cloud engineer or a network engineer. All you need to do, your basic aim is to always look for a way of cutting down costs in anything you do on the cloud. Just look for a way of trying to ensure that you cut down costs. Then you need to look at compliance and regulatory requirements. If you creating if your pairing location kind of is in compliance to the region you are. There are some companies, there are some services you will render that might be, you cannot just go to a region where what you are provisioning your company does not support. You are not in compliance to your company. Like anything, there are some companies that, for example, just like some companies, they cannot hire anybody in Africa. something like that. So you cannot, so there might be a compliance that, okay, let's say for example now you're not expecting US to come and get anything in Africa. Let's say in South Africa now, like they want to use a peering location in South Africa. It's against their compliance, so they cannot do that. So you need to looking for proximity, region connectivity, your service provider availability, your bandwidth, your cost. Always ensure you cut costs, and compliance. Also future growth and scalability. So these are the things you need to consider when you are choosing your peering location. So for express routes, you want to, like, okay, you want it to be resilient, you want it to be reliable. So we have two things when it comes to express route resilience. So we have, so when in terms of resilience, you want it, like, if there's any issue, there's any outage, you want it to be, you want to be able to recover quickly. And also if there is any you want to be able to recover from any failure, and also you want to always be available, because you can't imagine your customers are going to your website and it's not, they'll tell you you are seeing 404 not available, or all those kind of stuffs, or you are seeing 503 service not available, or yeah, 503, or gateway issue, all those kind of things. You want to kind of bounce back from any issue. For example, to even avoid the issue, or even if it happens, you are highly available. You are recovering quick. That's your You are recovering quick. That's resilience. And equally, always be available. Yeah, so express route has three resilience option. Number one is standard, high, and maximum resilience. So we have three resilience option. It's either standard, you use standard, you use high, you use maximum. So with this standard now, definitely you know that it's going to support different level of fault tolerance. The level of fault tolerance of maximum cannot be compared to standard, neither can it be compared to high. So if there is an issue that you have like an outage and all that, you are going to like bounce back, fall over easily, like you're going to be available compared to when you have standard. So in terms of standard, what makes up a standard? A standard is kind of a single circuit with two different connections configured at a single site. So it has like this inbuilt resilience, that's active. So it has an active that if there is an issue, it's going to facilitate failover across another connection of circuit. That's for standard. So if you can still see my screen, you are seeing the Microsoft routes, express route circuit. We have link 1, we have link 2. So we have, these are on premises, this is the partner, and this is Microsoft Edge location. This is Microsoft. So it's have link 1, it's have link 2. So if there's an issue, this is the two circuits. There's an issue, it can just move to the second circuit. This is just standard for you. Let's see what will be composed of high. So for I is going to allow you to use multiple sites, right? So let's say for example, um if there's an issue in UK South, you're going to be able to switch over to another Microsoft Express route where there is a circuit in within that UK. In UK, maybe UK UK West or so, you can easily switch. You are not just left with just one alternative. You can easily kind of switch from one circuit to another. So you have like two sites that you can switch from. So if you can see, we have on-premises, on-prem network, we have customers edge, we have customers edge. Then your pairing location, you have one pairing location here, you have two pairing location here. If anything happen to this first pairing location, you are going to like split your traffic to the second site of your location. Then for this thing, you just have an active. Then for maximum, of course, for the maximum, you know that if there's anything that happen, you have high level of resilience, and this maximum is best when you have like a mission critical kind of this thing. Let's say if you want to do, maybe you guys are test running a product you want to launch in your company. What you need to do as a cloud engineer, you need to ensure that, or a network engineer, you need to ensure that you put start your test run. Since it's just a test run, it's not a go live kind of stuff. You need to use standard. To save cost, you are to use standard. There's no reason why you should carry yourself and go and be using a maximum resilience, because your product you are launching is not live, you are still test running it. To save cost, the best for you, you are safe between standard and high resilience. So for a mission critical, like, you cannot just afford to have any destruction or anything. You can pick up maximum resilience. So just know maximum resilience is for mission critical. If you are going to use anything like test environment, you can use standard. If you want to, like, okay, you are live, you can use high resilience. But even if you are live, you can still use standard to kind of cut cost. So this is how it is. This is how it is. This is your Microsoft route circuit. You're going to choose a circuit. Then in terms of skill, you have local. We've talked about it. SKU, you have local, you have standard, you have premium. Then billing method. You want it metered or unlimited? Just like you need to kind of just like you need to kind of save cost, definitely you need metered, because you don't want to wake up to a surprise bills that you don't want to wake up to any surprise bill that might even not just affecting you. Even if there's some kind bill, even if they sack you, it will still affect the company. Let it not be bill that maybe that will contain your bill, that will be able to pay your 1 year salary. Your 1 year salary is what you now incur because you left it unlimited. So you don't want to get the surprise billing. So definitely you have to make it metered. We're going to connecting Azure ExpressRoute in terms of global reach. So we're giving a scenario that, okay, if you imagine you have like an office in San Francisco and you have another one in London, and you have like both office have like high speed connectivity to Azure in West US and UK South. But you are now but your branch office cannot just connect and send data directly with another. So what you're going to do, the best thing to do if you have that situation, the next thing to do is to ensure that you are globally rich, so that you can connect. Since you're in San Francisco, you can connect, and your stuff is in London. You're in UK South and UK West, and your branch in San Francisco. If you are going through local or this thing, you are going to or standard, you are going to be using this thing. You're going to be using If you're going through local or standard, you know that this will cover up for UK South and UK West. You are still in a region. But if you want to go global, you need to use premium. Premium give you that. So with premium now, with this your San Francisco branch, you'll be able to like connect to it if you have premium. So if you have premium, you are connecting to not just within that one region you are, the second region you have, which is San Francisco, you'll be able to connect to that. So this is like a Silicon Valley, this is a London. You know, these are not the same region at all. Maybe Silicon Valley, let's say you're in US now, and this one is in London. With the kind of skill you pick, if it is local, definitely you will not be able to connect. But if it is premium, you know that you'll be able to connect. Let's go to our this thing skill that we mentioned then. Let me see. Yes, it's this is it. So if it is local, you know it's just only UK that you're just left with just only UK. If it is standard, you cannot go beyond, you can't go to San Francisco. No, definitely. But if it is premium, you can connect globally, connect to San Francisco or Silicon Valley because you are global. Where are we? So that's just the essence of having a global reach. They're giving you an example now. Let's say, for example, now if you're in Nigeria, and in Nigeria you have your net, we have Jumia, let's say you have Jumia in Lagos, and we have Jumia in Abuja, and we have Jumia in Kaduna. So the best thing we're going to use to save cost, we are going with local. But if we have Jumia in Nigeria and we now have Jumia in let's say we have Jumia in Nigeria, we have Jumia in our neighboring like Benin Republic now, we can still use standard. But if we now have Jumia in Nigeria and we have Jumia in South Africa or Egypt, you know that it's global now. It's beyond just your standard and your local. It's global. You definitely need to have global reach, this thing presence. You need to connect to express route global reach. So why should you even like think of global reach, and or what scenario should you kind of wanting to like look at global reach? Global reach, what why should you consider global reach? You should consider global reach because it improve your connectivity. So you are not just limited to just one you're not just limited to just within a region or your locality. You go global. You are not limited. In then security wise, you're kind of it can transmit your data across Microsoft private network, which you know that with your with Microsoft net private network, you are free from any team threat or any team public network internet issue. You're not scared of, okay, they are going to come and hack your network, or there's any interruption for your network that will disturb your network. So it reduces your global reach, reduce latency. Meaning, since you're globally reach, you're going to have high global speed network that you're going to use, which will make your services and even allow your let's say your customers to connect to your services easily. Imagine you are in Nigeria and you have a customer in Egypt, or you have a customer in Dubai, and you're in Nigeria, you have a customer in Dubai, you have a customer in US, you have a customer in Egypt. With your global reach, you don't have any fear that, oh, definitely customer in US without a global reach, you can't even connect to the customer in US. Your customer in US cannot connect, like as in can't connect, right? Because you don't have express route circuit that is provisioned in this thing in US. And if you have it, your customer, since it's global, your customer can easily connect seamlessly without no any latency from his or her own end. Scalability, you can always like based on demand, you can go with based on demand. So that's one beautiful thing in cloud. It's always scalable. You can scale down, you can scale up, and all of those things. can monitor your connections and all that. So these are the advantages, these are the reason why you should consider going global with your making your express route globally reached. We have what is called Azure ExpressRoute fast path. So the essence of this Azure ExpressRoute fast path is just that it's just kind of help you to bypass gateway instead of you going through the gateway. Remember that padlock, right? That I showed you that first time. Remember this padlock. Instead of you passing through this padlock, it will just directly connect you to your virtual machine. So that's the essence of the express route fast connection. It bypasses your this thing, your express route gateway. Where are we? Sorry. So it just bypasses the gateway and connect directly to your virtual machine. That's the essence of Azure fast path. Then why should you consider fast path? You should consider fast path because it's kind of improve your latency, it's higher, it has like a higher throughput. So since it's bypassing the gateway, definitely you're going to achieve fast internet, like fast data transfer and all of those things for your applications. Then optimize performance, it reduce processing overhead of high volume data transfer. Let's say for example now you are transferring, let's say for example, let's say you even want to upload like your Jumia Friday is coming, you want to upload like 500 or 5,000 video sorry 5,000 images that of product you want to sell during your this thing. You can use fast path. The good thing about this feature, right, because you're like there is something called fast path, there is still another global, there is a global reach, there's global reach, there is resiliency and all of those things. So you now be thinking which one and which one should you be using. The good part of these things is not like you need to use them all the time. When the needs arise, let's say for example, when it comes to the when it comes to your Jumia Friday, you should expect that you, instead of you that 5,000 upload of your product you want to upload on your website, instead of you trying to do that for how many days, it's wise you just kind of provision express configured express route fast path. Then once you do it, once you upload, you can deprovision it, you can deactivate it, and your money is safe. Not just your money is safe, the hours and days and nights that you're going to be doing all those things, transferring files up and down, your time is safe, your money is safe and all that. Your strength is equally safe. So it's high throughput. So it helps you to like transfer quickly with fast path. You ensure you it ensures that your applications, like what you're going to do will work fast. Optimize routing. So it's kind of provide optimized routing for your packets. For reliability, you know that it's very reliable, it has more connections and it has that network congestion or packet loss. Like it has less congestion. So it's not congested, and the possibility of you like experiencing a packet loss, there's always connectivity. So it's less with your fast parts. Then security. So the first part, there is it ensures that your data are highly safe as you travel through. So it's highly safe. You don't have any issue of any form of vulnerability or exposure. So we learn like, okay, what no scenarios or what case can you use your fast part? So you could use, these are the scenarios. If you want to improve latency, you should use fast path. So because your fastpass will always connect you directly to your virtual machine, and by connecting to your virtual machine directly instead of going through your VPN gateway. It's kind of it's reduce network hoops and equally improve your response time. So it fast, high throughput, we talk about that already. You can easily, as you're bypassing the gateway, it's kind of help you to transfer your data fast and yeah, fast. Optimize performance. So these are the reasons why you should use fastpass when you're looking for improved latency, high throughput or optimized performance. You should use fastpass. And when it comes, there are prerequisites for you to even provision this. The prerequisite that you need to consider some prerequisite before you provision it. Then we have supported circuit type. You can use fastpass with the following circuit type, which is express route direct or express route provider. These are the two circuit you can use. Advantage of fastpass, see, like I'm repeating everything, it's still the same thing, like improve performance, low latency, high throughput, optimize routing, reliability, security. These are things you get when you connect with fastpass. So the last slide is going to be for us trying to troubleshoot express route connection issues. Remember, we are going to still provision our, wow, time has gone. We are still going to provision our express routes to understand. You know, we've been speaking English. We really need to get our hands dirty. So the provision of express route connection in terms of troubleshooting express routes, like this is like the blue one is your Azure network. These are the things you have. Your VNet gateway. This is your VNet gateway. This is it. This is your workload, your virtual machines. Then this is your one, and this is your corporate network. So if you, just in case you have any issue, when like what we are going to provision, right? This is how we are going to ours will not since provisions. For example, if you are trying to troubleshoot, if you discover, if you provision this and you have like third party, if you have created this, provision this on Azure and third party has configured what they need to configure from their own end, this is how the state you're going to see provision. Your provider status will enter provision. But if if it is not on provision, if it is not on provision, then you need to troubleshoot why it is not on provision, right? When you want to troubleshoot, there are different ways for you to troubleshoot. It's either you get customer support to help you troubleshoot the issue. This is the way of you getting connectivity issue. You can troubleshoot you using this, or you can contact customer support to help you to troubleshoot. On a normal day, the status of your stores will be provision, and your primary distance or secondary subnet, all of them supposed to be like this. So let's go to Azure Portal. I think I may need to stop and reshare again. I don't even know where I am currently. 1 minute, guys. Oh, people, you guys can still see my screen, right? I will need to. So you can follow along with me if you have your Azure, if you have Azure subscription. Sorry, I have so many tab opened. I'm trying to see where I'm connecting from now. Okay, I will stop sharing and try to reshare so people can see you guys can see my portal, Azure portal. Oh my god. I'm still sharing, but I can't see where I'm connecting from again. Oh, 1 minute, guys, please. Okay, yeah, I've been able to see where I'm connecting from. So, I'm still sharing my screen. Let me share my entire screen and pick a window. I believe you guys can see my. Okay, it's still not. So this is our Azure. Let's go to our virtual machine. Ah, this thing is not moving. No. Let me take this in here. I will drop the link here. I don't know. Sorry, I need to stop sharing and reshare. I don't know why this is not share. Let me see if I can share my entire screen. Let me just refresh this page. Oh, no. So we are going to create our virtual network. I have actually created some before now. Let me just show you before we start. It seems there is a lag here. I don't know. For the virtual network, we have call service network. That is what it's called. I want to open it for us to see. So we have call service network. Yeah. So in our call service network, you can check, if we check subnets, we have, sorry, the stuff is loading slowly here from my end here. The network is kind of slow. Hey. So provisioning this thing takes 45 minutes, right? So I'm just going to show you what we have. So you have an idea before we provision hours. So just have it in mind that it takes a long time. But this is loading so slowly. Let me close some of my tabs. I'll close this one. Um, how many tabs do I have left now? Sorry, guys. I have just two tabs now. Okay, need to reshare again. So I'm going to go to portal.azure.com and the order my login. I don't know what you guys can see from your end. I am sharing my slide, but you guys are not seeing it. Yeah. Let me just share this window if that will be better. That will help. So we're going to Before we provision our express route, we need to create like a virtual network and create a subnet. That's the one I created. I just want to show us what we have before we create ours, because it's going to be time consuming. Let's have idea of what we have before we go create a new one. So our virtual network, the name is called virtual network. And you remember, you can call it any name you want. You can call it Jumia Virtual Network. You can call me Yemi Tech Network. It's not selective in terms of name, just any name you can give it. And when you create your virtual network, this is the IP address /16. We have like a subnet. You can see we have two subnets, but let's see when we go to subnets here. I just have one subnet for this particular virtual network. The other subnet is not, it's for another virtual network. Let's see. Yeah. So we have a gateway subnet. Our gateways, let's see. Let's open our gateway subnets. Your street, and your gateway subnet is like the building you have within the street. You have building one, building two, like street number one, street number two, street number three. So when you create a subnet, when you create a virtual network, the name this gateway subnet automatically is going to be choosing for you. You cannot delete it. When you choose the purpose, if you say the purpose of your virtual network is for what's the purpose or the subnet purpose, if you say it's for virtual network, it's automatically going to pick this name for you, gateway subnet. That's when you have a street, you're going to have a building in that street, or you have a house in that street. That is it. Then let's go to, after we create those two things, virtual network and subnet, the next thing is to create a virtual network gateway. That's a padlock. Now when you have your wardrobe, when you've kind of like arranged everything within your wardrobe, the next thing is security. You need security for your wardrobe. So this is how we create security. So this is the security. It is called core network gateway. So it's called core service network gateway. So that's the name, and this is it. Let's go to settings. When you get to setting, you check your connection. Oh, sorry. Where is it? Yeah, let's see. Not here. Let's. You check your connection. There should be something here. Let me see. Let's click add and see. Instant detail. So this is the type of connection type we have. VNet to VNet. Look at it. We have site to site. Then we have to, in terms of connection, when it comes to your VNet, your virtual network gateway. Your virtual network gateway, there are three ways which you can connect your virtual network gateway. We have VNet to VNet, we have site to site, and we have express routes. We have express routes. So we are using express routes, but let me see. This is not the one I did that last time. This is not it. Sorry, it's overview. I need to go. Overview. So this is our core in terms of our virtual network gateway, that padlock you see. This is what we have. We have the SKU is standard. Remember, we have local, and we have premium, and we have standard. So this one I created standard here. Then the gateway type, remember we just showed you now. We have in terms of, we have express route gateway. You can choose VPN, or but we have ExpressRoute. The gateway type, we have ExpressRoute gateway here. We picked ExpressRoute because it's ExpressRoute we want to use, not VPN. We are using ExpressRoute for our gateway. And just see the gateway like is like a padlock, it's like a security. Just see it that way. Then we have our ExpressRoute circuit. This is the ExpressRoute circuit. You can give your express route any name, and it mustn't be like in the same location. Remember, it's just that it's not must not be in the same location with your region, with your resources, right? For example, the virtual network I created, if I'm to go back, this virtual network I created is in I the you can see the virtual network. Virtual network is US. Why our network is in East US? That's for the virtual network. So if you go to our express route circuit is in East US too. We have our express route circuit in East US too. It mustn't be in the same distance, as long as, just like we say, just to ensure that the location is within. You have your third party provider in that location. There is a presence of express route in that location. Like, it's not every region that has express route, as long as it is. So we you can see that my express route circuit is in East US too, while my virtual network is in East US. Remember then where I showed you how we can where I showed you if it is provided by your service provider, the status should be provisioned. Because we don't have any service provider, like, as in, we have a service provider. The service provider is Equinix, but we have not reached out to the service provider to help us configure it. These are the things we need to do as a cloud engineer and as a networking engineer. We have done our part. Is when we have provisioned this, when we have created all these things, then we'll now reach out to our network provider. There will now be our provider, the third party provider, that will provide configure the circuit for us. So when we reach out to them, they'll know how to fix the cable from Microsoft location, edge location from Microsoft to their own this thing, to our own data center, our on premises. So our own on premises, they'll pass the cable to ours and be able to, once they configure that, you will now see the status to be provision. But at this point, the status is not provision because we have not done the needful. So let's go and configure it now. I think I should delete all that I have here. Let me delete the virtual machine I have, virtual network I have. So I'm still with you guys. We just want to provision, and the first thing we are going to, my page is still loading. The first thing we are going to do is to provision our virtual machine. Sorry, our virtual network. I don't know why, but let me just say. And I can't click here and delete slider. I need to open it before I'll be able to delete. Sorry, I think my network is a bit slow. We are almost done. I'm so sorry. We're almost done. Thank you guys for being in today's class. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please we ask that you should please subscribe to our YouTube channel and as well as our Azure Meetup page and connect with us on LinkedIn. So I don't know why this is taking time. Let me shall just go and create another one. I don't know why this is taking time. So we're going to create a new virtual network. So the building blocks of any Azure this thing private network, right, is our VNet. So we need to create it. I don't know if we should use this resource group. Let us create everything anew. We can just call this Jumia resource group LG Jumia LG. Then our virtual network name would be Jumia VNet. Jumia VNet. Let's call it that way. And okay, we can leave it here in this East US2. The next thing is security. We are not doing anything on security, so we are going to leave that page. Go to our next. The next thing we need to do is to create like our virtual our IP. So I'm going to just create like we'll just use two here. Okay, I did a mistake. /16. So we need to create a subnet. Our subnet is supposed to be /27. So what is the purpose of our subnet? So our subnet is for our virtual network gateway. We want to use it to create a virtual network gateway. So we need a subnet. So we need remember our subnet is likened to a building within a street, a building, a house within houses within the street. And we have gotten our street, and the name of our street is Jumia. And now we've gotten these are the plots of land we have in Jumia. For this street that is called Jumia Street, these are the IP addresses we have. These are the acres of land we have. And out of these acres of land, we want to build houses within it now. So we can just /24 here, that the size. Let's just we just click. You're not configuring anything here. Remember we click to add our subnets and we are not configuring anything. Our subnet address range is /24. You can make it /27. Yeah, then let's click OK. So when we click OK, we are seeing our gateway subnet. The next thing is we click on next, and we don't need to add any tag. But if you want to add a tag, let's see. You can say department. What tag is sweet for our networking engineer? Let's just in case network engineer. Um, let's click on create. We need to create. So the when we were looking at our slide, the first skills we are acquiring from this learning today is how to create a subnet, how to create a virtual network, and how to create a subnet. So we have created a virtual network, that's the street. Now we want to create the subnet, that is the houses. So these are the two things we are doing. So you're gaining skills of knowing how to create a virtual network and how to create a subnet. So let's wait for it. This doesn't take time compared to your net, network gateway. Your virtual network gateway takes a lot of time to provision. So now it has been provision. We can now go there. We've created a virtual network. Let's see the subnet in needs. So this is our subnet. This is it, subnet gateway. So in our street now, Jumia Street, we have just one house. We have a house there. So this is the plot of the house, and this is the number of the house street. So that's it. Now we want to go and provision our Azure Virtual Network Gateway. So what we're going to search for is network gateway. For example, when you buy in a street, when you buy a plot of land, the next thing you do is to fence it. And when you fence it, what you do, you need a padlock so that anybody cannot just intrude into your house. So we are doing this thing. We are currently going to create a padlock to padlock our house. Let's click on create. So the name of our padlock now would be Jumia. Let's say we don't think we'll be able to use caps here. So let's see. Our um Jumia VNet. Okay, we can use caps here. VNet gateway. Our Jumia VNet gateway. So that's going to be the name. We can still maintain East US too, since we are going to be able to create um ExpressRoute circuit in that location. So we are maintaining that. So remember, we have two types of gateway. That's this type of card padlock. Now we have two types of padlock. So VPN padlock, and we have ExpressRoute padlock. So since we are not going through the internet, we are going directly to Azure, a private connection. So when it comes to private connection is ExpressRoute. Anything that has to take you totally out of internet is ExpressRoute. That's the essence of this class, that we want to connect to Azure, but we don't want to use our internet to connect to Azure. That's why we are using ExpressRoute. So we pick ExpressRoute in this thing. Remember the SQL we said: standard, local, and premium. Look at it. So now we have standard, we have high performance and all that, but we're going to pick, we're leaving it as standard here when it comes to this SKU we have is for virtual network gateway. Is not still the one we have in this thing in ExpressRoute itself. So this is just for our gateway, our padlock. Then virtual network name. Which name should we give to it? We will just give it a name again. Okay, so we already created our virtual network before. Now that's the name of the street. So automatically it's going to see it. All we need to do is to pick it from here, our virtual network VNet. Our VNet now. So automatically this is the name of the street and the number, the plot of land is here already. All we need to do is to look for tag to add. You can still add a tag if we choose to add tag, but remember we already have a tag before. Network engineer, we'll pick our tag because we're creating this team for the department of network engineer. The next thing is to review and check if we pass through all the requirement. Then it will show green that we can now create. We should go ahead creating. So it has passed validation. The next thing now is to create. Please, if you have any question, do let me know. Oh, sorry, there's okay, the client object. So now this is talking about authorization. I need to duplicate my tab here and give it, so just in case you're provisioning yours and you have an issue like this, client ID does not have authorization to perform Microsoft subnet join action over the subscription. So they are saying I don't have that access. I have to go and add this subscription, sorry, this the resource group. Now I need to give it an access, a network contributor access, so that it will enable us to create our it will enable us to create our resources. So I'm going to go to, either you type subscription or you type I am, or you can type resource group anyway. So I'm going to type resource group. um, Resource. This is our resource group. So the resource group we just created is Jumia. We need to give it a network contributor access for it to permit us to create our resources. I don't know. Can you people still see what I'm doing? Ah, there's latency here. Please, I hope you guys can still hear me, right? There's a lag from my end, I guess so. So this is the resource group. All we need to do is to click on I am here, access control. Access control, remember it says who can do what which resources. So as a network engineer, for us to be able to provision anything on our subscription, we need to be given an access to be able to do that. So what I'm going to do is to come to role assignment. I'll come to role assignment. So on the role assignment, I am going to look for this name. Um 10 point this, okay, they are the same this thing. User administrator. Yeah. I'm going to look for this 10 and give it, let's click on it. I am this user. If you go back to this error, remember it complained about this user 10 AC blah 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 21, stop at 215. And this is our subscription, so we need to give this user this 10 AC. If I go back here, I'll check for role assignments. On my role assignment, I have to pick the user so I can assign the role to it. Looking at it, one AI user, you have this user, this is 10, this is the user we're looking for. We will just give it that role assignment. Let's click here. Sorry, you need to click on that box. Go to your role assignment, look for the user and click on that box. Click here. AI admin, suspicion inherited. We have user administrator. So let's do this. We are not AI admin here. Let's just use this one. This is the name. We don't want to do any invitation. Let's take a look. This is the stuff we need to do. Um, Hold on. Let's look for a role. We are going for network contributor. So we are not doing classic, we're just doing normal network contributor. So what's the essence of network contributor? Allows you to manage your network. So let's pick this. Let's You can pick it. This is what we are picking. So when we pick it, we're supposed to go to next. So your network contribution can read, it can write and all of those things. Update network security group and all, it can create application gateway. So this is what we are trying to create and it's not allowing us. So we need to have that right to be able to do that before this thing. Anything regarding application gateway or anything virtual gateway, there is this thing. It's supposed to pick, let me see, assignment. I need to add assignment. I need to assign it to this network contributor. I need to assign it to the resource group so it will allow us to create. Okay, so um job function. Let's go. Why is it going like that? So this is the job function. It is graded out, right? Let's see. This is the role. Now you need to go to privilege administrator. Why nothing is showing here? Nothing is coming out here. Let's see why. So we have contributor and okay, for the privilege administrator, we have contributor, but that's not what we want to do. Let's see if it's going to. So we need to select members. These are the whole lot of people I have under my tenant. Um, it's not here. Let me see. I didn't add it here, so I'm not supposed to see it here. Yeah, the resource group cannot be here. It shouldn't be under this thing. Well, let's go back to our IAM. Let's. This is our resource group. Sorry, guys. And so once we click on IAM, we click on this network contributor. Let's click on add role assignments. I hope I know back to this guy. This thing should not take not take our time. I don't know why. So we are not using classic. We're just going to use a normal network contributor. We pick this and go to next. So we're going to use user group or principal. We will then look for, let's see, should be manage identity. Select member, let's see. Okay, let's use the user group or principal. Let's go on. I'm sorry about this thing. So for us to do, we need to go to this. I don't know if I should even go through subscription instead of this resource. If we go to our resource, let me go to subscriptions. This is our subscription. So under our subscription, we go to I am here. Why is this thing not clickable again? Yeah, let's go to I am in this place. On this our subscription, so we're just going to go to we'll go to role assignment. On the role assignment, we look for what we want. This is the person, this is what we want, this is the role we want to assign. We will click on user administrator here. When you click on user administrator, I think what we should see, click on this user administrator under role assignment. It should not show us monitoring or all those edit property. We are not editing property. I'm just going to go through here. I'm sorry guys. Authorizing users, members. No. I'm sorry. So under our subscription, we kind of pick row. If we pick row, we have, let me see, under role assignment, we have, this is job function. This 5E, this thing, say monitoring, this thing, I don't know what it is because this error is talking about 10 under this 5F, which is our subscription. So it's 10AC, if we can see 10ACB, that's the, we click on this. When you click on this, should take, but I'm not seeing any next here. Let me see. I hope you guys can still see my screen. So there is no next here. Let's, even when you click, you need to add role assignments. Add a custom role. Let's see if you see if it's going to add a custom role. Oh god, this has taken a lot of time. This alright. Um, there is kind of custom rule. Let's see. We don't need a custom rule. The rule is already customized already. So we just need to pick from the customized stuff we have. We have check access, check the level of access in my resources. Azure user, this is this thing. Azure admin has full access. We're not using this. We have role assignments. We have owner, contributor. We need to come here and just add role assignments. It should just so on the role assignment we can't just be clear going like that. We just need to check network. The assignment we want to pick is to assign our resource group the network contributor role, right? So we will wait for this to load. Contributor. Anyway, network contributor. It should populate job function role. It should populate. Or let's just create since it's not populating. But let's go to nt. So this is the one we are picking. So we don't speak like this. So the next thing is click on next since we have picked. Then we need to like select member. In this site of select member, it should give us our resource group. We should be able to see, okay, sorry. So this resource group is under Catherine John. I'm sorry guys for wasting our time. I'll pick it. I'm going to pick it. That is it. So from that resource group, I will, yeah, you can see the name, this 10AC and all that. So that is the user we are using. Click next and we're going to assign and create. Sorry for taking you guys time. So after it's created, we just go and refresh and create our VPN gateway. It's added now. So let's go and create our VPN gateway. This one like this, you don't need to click on redeploy. You just have to go back and create your VPN gateway again. Click on creating your gateway. come back here so I don't have to stretch my neck. Our gateway is Jumia VNet VNet gateway. Our location, we are picking ExpressRoute. That's what we are doing. Virtual network, we are picking our Jumia VNet. I didn't spell this gateway well. Gateway. So the next thing is tag. We just bring up our tag that we have before. We pick that we're creating this for. Click create. Now let's just go and create our virtual network. Since our user is already added, there won't be any issue of access. There won't be any access issue. So in the next 2 to 3 minutes, this will be done. And after that, we're going to create provision our express route circuits. Sorry, this is taking a little while. When it comes to the gateway, seriously, it takes to 20 to 45 minutes, but I promise by before 10 will be done out of this. This is the one that takes a lot of time. After that, the express route circuit doesn't take time. It's just the gateway, express route gateway that takes a bit of time. It will soon be done, guys. Thank you so much for attending today's class. We'll soon wrap up, please. Once this get deployed, I'm so sorry, guys. Express route gateway takes a lot of time. I think a maximum of 45 minutes, but there was a time I created one that took just 22 minutes. So ours will soon be created. Thank you for your understanding and thank you for bearing with me for still sticking around. So our virtual network gateway will soon be created for us to create to connect to configure our express route circuits. Dear Lord, essential. Finish fast. So sorry, guys. It won't be true. So finally, on our resources provision, that is our GateNet, our virtual network gateway has been provisioned. So let's go to our resources now. Thank you guys for the patience. So these are SKU. We did standard, and this is the we have VPN and we have a Express Route gateway. So we provision it in SUS to East US 2. Now let's go and create Azure Express Route Circuit. You just created a virtual network gateway. So we go just going to call in. Remember, we have a resource group already. We pick this and we will go. Remember the resilience I once talked about, right? That we have three type of resilience: maximum resilience, which is majorly for mission critical workload, and for high resilience and have standard resilience, right? So these are the three resilience we have when it comes to express route circuits. We are just going to go for standard. We'll leave to cut cost, we just go for standard. It said does not protect against local wide outage, suitable for non-critical. So definitely we are doing a test. We are doing a test which is a non-critical. We're going to pick standard. If we are doing like a highly recommended critical workload, like we could have taken it. We are not live. If we are live, we could have taken the spot. To always cut down cost, we are going with standard resilience. And this is the picture for you to see. For express, since we pick standard, this is a picture of standard for us that okay, oh, we just have like two link here when it comes to our express route, so we can switch. Let's use region now. For the region of our circuit detail, we can still pick East US 2, but let's just go with just East US with okay. Let's see. We can just go with but that is the circuit name is definitely going to be Jumia Express Route Circuit. It's going to be Jumia Express Route Circuit. Jumia Express Express Circuit. So just pick that. Let's just pick this. Then we'll go through provider. Remember the type of two types of connection: provider or direct. We are picking provider, and we are going to use uh, Equinix provider. Peering location, like we said, your peering location is different from your normal Azure regional, Azure location where your workload are. Our peering location, let's just pick it. Can we see East US? We just pick East US there. Nothing is coming out. You're not seeing anything. Oh, sorry. Yeah, we are going to pick this one. Seattle. We're picking Seattle for our distance. You can see that there was no, because the location is different from Azure region. That's why if you check later, you will not see East US because this is provider's location, not your Azure location. That's why you're not seeing us most of these familiar all these regions you are seeing it on Azure. You can't really find it here, right? You're not seeing East US. Even if you type US, you're not seeing anything like that. These are different stuff, right? So we've picked Seattle location, and our provider is going to be Equinix. Equinix, we're using Equinix, and we can do 50 or yeah, 50 Mbps. Let's do 50 Mbps. Our skill is going to be standard. We can, yeah, we can, let's just pick standard. We pick standard, and definitely we can't pick unlimited. We are picking limited. We don't want to come up with stories that touch. There's something. Let's just see. Can we? Let's click. We're not doing anything under monitoring. Our tag. We can still decide to pick our tag game. Tag does it that it helps you to label your resources, and equally like it organizes it for you and help you to easily identify what's department, or let's say what you created that resources for. Now let's click on create. So unlike the network gateway, this doesn't take time to provision. Okay, so this has been provision. So let's go to our resource, our resources. So we can see our Jumia circuit here. So as a cloud engineer, just like I said, as a cloud engineer or network engineer, your work has finished here. The next thing for you to do is you contact your service provider, your third party provider to provide the connectivity. It's going to connect, help you with the connections. So you done everything from the Azure end. So once they finish up the connectivity from their end, all you need to do is to come to this circuit to ensure that the provision state is showing provision. If they configured everything very well, when you get to your circuit, you see the state of your circuit in the provision state. So what what your circuit does is that it's just a logical connections that connects between your premises infrastructure and Azure. So and it's you can create different types of circuit. You can create more than one circuit and choose more than one partners. Just like how I create the same way I create a circuit called Equisit, you can create another maybe called Cisco. As long as it's within the partner, just pick the right partner name and create your circuit. You can have more than two, three circuits and connect to different regions with your circuits. So you can have different provider with different circuits. You can connect it and have a different provider on your circuit in San Francisco. You can have another provider for your circuit in and let's say in UK South, you can have another one like in Dubai. So have maybe in your three different region, you're having three different network provider that you have circuit with. All you need to do, you can just connect any of them that you wish to connect, as long as they are well provisioned for you and you can see that it's really provision. From Azure, you can actually see that it's provision. I don't know why this is taking time. This shouldn't. So let me just refresh. I can just decide to go here and check for it. I don't know why it's taking time. Let's go to our Azure ExpressRoute Security. So we have our Jumia circuit here. We just want to check the state of our circuit, which is supposed on a normal are supposed to be not provision because the network provider have not done their own part. The connect sorry, at least I said network. The connectivity provider they have not done their own configuration from their end. Once they do their configuration successfully on Azure, you're supposed to be seeing provision. I don't know why this is not coming up. Let's go to what's this? it network from my end? Let's go back. Let's refresh. This should not take time because it's not deploying anything. It's just for it to open the circuit that has been deployed already. So I am just going to go back to the circuit. I don't want to click on it friend here. No, this is our first route circuit. We have two here. This is the one we just deployed during the class. Yeah. So this is how it's supposed to show. This is our connectivity provider. Every needs, and this is provider status is not provision because they have not done their own configuration. Once they configure it for us, you will see provision, and the bandwidth is 50. This is the service key. You need to provide the service key to your connectivity provider to help you to configure this your express route circuits so that you can be able to your express route will start functioning perfectly well. So guys, this is the end of today's class. I'm really grateful to have you guys in my class today, and I'm happy and I'm sorry about the delay. Like it's like an extra 1 hour plus. Thank you so much for your patience in today's class. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking your time to come to this class. So for us to wrap up, let's have like a takeaway from this class today. So Express Route extend on-premises network into Microsoft Cloud over a private connection with the help of your service provider. So with the help of your service provider, you can use ExpressRoute to connect to your on-premises network. And equally, ExpressRoute has two connectivity models. So when it comes to the model, you have two connectivity. One is private connection and the other one is direct connection. So you should know when to use direct connection. You should use direct connection when you are connecting to Microsoft services, e.g., Office 365, and you're connecting to Office 365. And when you should use when you should use direct connection, you should use direct connection when you are connecting to a private when you want to connect to a private IP, when you want to use your private IP, and you can when you're connecting to a private connection, when you're using a private connection, you can just connect with your private IP using a private connection. And some of the services you can use is your DB, your virtual machine to do that. Then the next thing we talked about is express route. We talk about the SKU for express route, which is standard, local, and premium. We talked about standard, local, and premium connection. And standard, premium, and local SKU. Then we kind of like in terms of resilience, we have standard resilience, high resilience, and maximum resilience. So when we are talking about why should we use like if you want to extend your express route beyond your region, then you need to use an express route global. You need to use an express route global fast paths. So when you're extending, just know that you should use express route global fast paths for extending sorry, if you're extending your region, right, please just use Microsoft Express Route global reach. With your global reach, you can extend your express route beyond just a region. you are. So it's going to go global. You can use different countries. So when it comes to like you want to bypass your gateway, you want to bypass your gateway, then that is when you can use your express routes fast paths. You can use your express route fast path to enhance your data performance and to connect to your on premises virtual network. So that will be all for today. I am really grateful to have you guys in this class. Thank you for staying to the end. Goodbye. We wish to see you next. Um, we will be having our Azure AI Global um, event, and would like you guys to connect. We'll be announcing that on all our platforms soon. It's going to be around on the 25th or so. So we expect to see every one of us during that global connect. I think we still have more from next week. We'll have how we can secure our next week. We're going to have the last topic on this networking, and it's just going to be about firewall. It's going to be about security. Yes, it's going to be about security. It's going to be about designing and implementing network security. So we need security in our cloud. We need to get more understanding of how to secure our hybrid network. So thank you. Bye from me to you guys. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channels. Thank you. Have a great week ahead. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone. Thank you.